Rather than boringly read you guys the recent progress of Star Citizen from a list, your favorite tomato is here to provide interesting B-roll to accompany the most interesting new developments in Star Citizen in the month of June. Don't forget, you can find me on Twitch, streaming on Sundays, Wednesdays, and Fridays to play and chat. Find that in the video description, and join my Discord also in the video description. Hope you see something you like in this monthly report. Thanks for coming to this Tomato Talk. Starting out, the character AI team did a lot of work on NPC character combat and interactions last month regarding activities such as reloading and searching for ammo upon near depletion. They also began co-opting the infamous bartender activities to use for combat scenarios, which might make you think a drink on the battlefield sounds nice, but why? Well, here's the proper explanation. An ammo box is nothing else than an item provider. The item itself could produce magazines, or it might have magazines attached, similar to how a beer fridge can contain beer bottles, but a mixing station can create the drinks from specific source items. This allows NPCs to search for places in the world that can provide them with magazines of specific type, relocate to those objects, and refill their loadout. This gives opportunity for the player and forces NPCs to evaluate the environment to decide if and when it's appropriate to use those refill spots. We also just saw a single sentence slip in there about server meshing progress. Oh boy. Ship AI kicked off a single player version of the player group manager, which is like the normal party system but is able to include NPCs. This will allow players to party up with and quantum jump with NPCs in their vehicles, part of this recent push to get NPC player interaction into the game. Social AI focused on the bridge crew and capital ship hangar crew scenarios, allowing designers to specify what role an NPC has in order to affect their schedules, routines, and interactions. Things such as the captain roaming the bridge and keeping order, a mechanic checking on the docked ships in the hangar bay, or a grunt fetching tools and fuel lines for their overseers. This will go a long way in creating a more living environment in Star Citizen as opposed to just Squadron 42. Animations for 3 new weapons were completed, including the 2 new Lightning Bolt Company weapons. Apparently, these guns have comparatively complex animations and technical setups. A new weapon also entered development that the team is excited to unveil at the end of Quarter 3. I still haven't found a rifle that I really enjoy, though that new SMG has my tomato seeds all over it. Last month, the Planet Art team finished off the environments of the first 2 planets of Pyro and began work on the final 2. This month, they moved into full production of Pyro 3 and 4. They're currently producing the required assets with a lot of new content reaching completion. This system is making great progress to be introduced over the next few patches. In ships, we have quite a few updates. The Starlifter, the big hulking Crusader carrier, is just about finishing up final art on the exterior and much of the interior. Yep, this ship is shooting along the vehicle pipeline. The 100 series, which is most likely that all-new ship series of last month's report, is making good progress towards completion for Alpha 3.11, and 2 new unannounced ships have also been doing well. I will stand by my theory that a new consolidated Outland ship is coming soon. Maybe one of these is it. We know one will likely be the recently leaked RSI gunship. Finally, everybody's, read my, favorite ship, the Mercury Starrunner, is scooting along as well. Despite what looks like slow roadmap progress, it's now in the final art phase, with feedback being implemented to give it more of a smuggler ship personality. I expect to see this ship on time for 3.11, and I expect to make a cinematic for it, as well as a ship tour. Subscribe here to make sure you don't miss those. On the audio side, ambiances for a lot of areas were rebalanced in Levski and Lorville. This might mean anything from creaky metal to crowd noises to music. Here are the ambient music pieces for those areas. June saw the character team working on adding new MobiGlas variants to in-game shops, which sounds like a pretty difficult task due to the age of the asset. I think this would be a fantastic time to start introducing new elements to that UI, and it sounds like they are. The gameplay feature team has now pushed the player trading app to the art phase to make it pretty to look at. Let's hope for a live release in Alpha 3.10. This month, the character team also began work on what they are calling the Pyro crab. This will be part of the development of the wildlife pipeline that will allow for more primitive aliens and animals to populate the galaxy. On the engineering side, ship collision detection was improved, deformations due to physical damage was worked on, and numerous tasks for the Gen 12 renderer were completed, such as a guided filter to denoise and upsample lower resolution ray marching results for inscatter and transmittance in atmospheres. All I really understand from that is atmospheres, so here's some eye candy. From the sounds of this quote, it looks like they're aiming to get an early version of the Gen 12 renderer into maybe Evocati stage in the next few months. Looking at vehicle features, both docking and improvements to missiles continued in development. This point towards the full Item 2.0 conversion for missiles. Check out my Weapon System 2.0 video to get an idea of what that might entail in the upper right hand corner and the video description. The graphics team made yet more optimizations to existing systems that will help improve game performance, such as caching UI buffers that were being needlessly set many times per frame, reducing the overall number of function calls to DirectX by over 30%. Sounds like a large number. The Edge Highlight Silhouette feature was upgraded to provide cleaner visuals with customizable line width, which was requested by the vehicle team to improve the appearance of various UI elements. That means cleaner UI elements will be possible, which is very nice. The ship culling system was tweaked so that ships could be viewable from a much greater distance. June saw the level design team working on new, as yet announced content, which is, I don't know, Ruined Station? Something completely new? What do you guys think? They also closed out tasks on key locations such as Levski and New Babbage, and made further progress with Orison. I wasn't aware any work was being done to update Levski. That's an interesting little nugget. From the descriptions used in this monthly report, it sounds like Grimhex might be getting some updated utilitarian hangars, which we know best from Lorville and Area 18. Speaking of Lorville, the new day-night cycle lighting, which we've had looks at both in May and April's monthly reports, have finally been completed for 3.10. Expect to see new dynamic lighting in Lorville and hopefully soon in Area 18. This month was a bit light on narrative, but we did have one point to hit. The narrative team joined up with audio and AI to discuss the prospect of players fighting the Vanduul. Fighting the Vanduul alongside friends is bound to be pretty fun. For UI this month, work continued on a new MobiGlas app, which is most likely the player trading app, and the future of the Starmap and radar were iterated on. Can I hear a hallelujah for the prospect of a new Starmap? Finally, for VFX, one of the bigger tasks for Alpha 3.10 was the new signed distance field-driven atmospheric entry effects. This same tech is planned to be used to calculate drag on ships as well as the shield layer on ships. Work also continued on the fire propagation feature, a feature that I think everybody was kinda surprised by. I wonder why so much work is going into this at the moment. Maybe for environmental dangers in Pyro? The VFX team also continued supporting the environment team with their ongoing gas cloud work, which will be necessary for spacescaping and nebula formation in the PU, as well as in a derivative version planetary clouds and gas giants like Crusader. As usual, the monthly report was much more telling than the roadmap, showing progress where none was perceived. There was a lot of info in this report as always, and I'm excited to hear what the community is most excited about. Let me know what interests you down in the comments or join my Discord to discuss further. And of course, find me on Twitch, streaming and chatting on Sundays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, where we can talk about all of this stuff freely. Thanks again for joining me for this video. I hope you'll subscribe and stick around for all my Star Citizen content. If so, I'll see you in the next one.